Golan-Globus Theater back at you. And fuck, it's not cold this week, so goddamn am I ready to do this.
I'm always ready.
It might have been cold last week, but it certainly fucking
heated up, Griff. You're right.
They really did.
Griff, I explained to you a couple weeks ago how we're humongously huge in Europe.
Yeah.
Our man Stuart, our man in Manchester, told us. Did I tell you he sent us a picture, documented proof, it's on our Twitter, of the teeming crowds of people that line up to listen to our show at these listening parties.
I saw that crowd. It was fucking amazing. It was about as big, definitely bigger than Trump's inauguration.
I wouldn't go that far. It was
You
close
wouldn't go that
to
far?
it. It was close to it. Trump had fucking like 5 million people.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
He had like 2 or 3.
2 or 3? Okay.
Yeah,
See, we're modest here. We can accept.
Well, we're
you
real.
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
these are just facts we're stating.
Yeah, exactly.
I just told you he sent us proof.
Yeah.
And in fact, do you remember hearing a couple months ago, or maybe it was a month ago, how the Prince Philip from England crashed his car? With the true story, it's funny because he's married to Queen Elizabeth, but I guess his royal thing is Queen's bitch because he's not the king. He's just called like the Crown Prince. He crashed his car. This is what I heard. I have sources. He was listening to our Bronson Brand sex ad bit on the Death Wish 3, highly underrated episode, and he crashed his car. He was laughing so hard he crashed his car.
I think he just got so erect his dick interrupted the steering wheel.
That could be too.
Because,
so we're not getting knighted.
Yeah.
That fucked it up.
That fucked it up?
Yeah, we were all set to get knighted. The first Americans to ever be knighted in England.
I don't think that's true.
I think it is true. I think you have to be a citizen of England to do it. We would break precedents because we're awesome.
We'll find some other countries that'll knight us. I think Iceland will knight us.
All right, I'll go there.
They might do it with a fish.
Well, we're probably big there too. I don't know. Is anybody from Iceland like us? Let us know. But like I said, Griff, much like Charles Bronson, we're conquering heroes. We've come back. We've exploded. Literally, we've more than doubled our followers in 2 days, Griff, on Twitter.
That's good to hear.
And we're just racking up the downloads now. We're fine. We're cooking with gas now.
I prefer charcoal. But, gas is cool, too.
You don't know how to grill, though. We won't get into that.
Oh, my God.
But
You're doing this episode solo now.
I just wanted to point out one of our followers because he sent me this great picture. Well, I post when we got 100 followers this weekend, and I posted like, hey, thanks, everybody, because there's a lot of people that help us get to where that is, that really supported us. And so I found a picture. It was so apropos. It was literally Steve James carrying Michael Dudikoff, which he did his entire career.
Whenever I see anybody post anything about Dudikoff being amazing, I go, tell me a movie he did without Steve James that was amazing. Exactly.
And they're like,
I kind of want to be the dick and just be like, look, Steve, Dudikoff's pretty cool. I mean, not to name drop or anything, but he's a fan of our Twitter.
He did like 2 of our tweets.
So, I mean...
Dude, we're rubbing elbows with the man himself, Robert Bronzy.
I know.
The Charles Bronson lookalike. Followed us first, Griff.
You told me, don't bring them up. You don't want to name drop. I'm sorry.
I got
a name drop. Okay? And I got Boz on our... The Boz is with us.
Just today, I'm glad you mentioned Boz, because just today... I made a great tweet commenting on the Boz and how amazing his Screaming Eagle mullet is. Wow. And I don't remember the guy's name, but he was he wasn't the main bad guy. He was the first bad guy from Kickboxer 2. He's a blonde German guy. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. He's not Dolph Lundgren. He liked it.
He loved it.
So thank you to that guy.
He didn't like it. He loved it.
So, but getting back to the picture I posted.
Let's picture that post.
So, a guy who's like one of our OGG original Golan-Globus followers, he fixed the picture where he had Steve James, because Steve James is so strong, he doesn't even use his arms to hold up Michael Dudikoff. Dudikoff's just sitting on his shoulders like a little boy. And Steve James is like flexing his muscles out, and he did these little flags that Steve James is holding that had our logo on it. Frank Grills, the machine gun shooting.
Hot dog.
So I want to give a shout out to this guy because also he puts out some really cool looking T-shirts that that are about the movies we cover. He's got one shirt I'm gonna have to fucking buy.
There's a coincidence. He doesn't make them because we cover.
No, he does. No. Yeah, he's also a fan of these things.
Yeah.
These movies. And there's one I'm seriously I got to buy because not only does it have Samurai Cop on it, it has Shades from Hard Ticket to Hawaii on the same shirt.
The fact that somebody else appreciates Shades as much, and by the way, there might be some big Shades news coming up in the near future. The fact that someone else appreciates Shades just makes us so fucking happy.
Yeah, so I just want to give a shout out to this guy. He's got a Redbubble thing. You can find out more information. I'm going to give you his Twitter handle so you can just find more information on these cool T-shirts. He's called Best of Bad at Bad Movie Man, and he's a cool guy. He's always supported us from the get-go, and I just want to give him that little shout out there.
And Murray, now that we have gotten like a lot of new listeners here, let's just go ahead and point out, despite being called Golan-Globus Theater, we were thinking about it. We got like 40 episodes now, and probably 8 of them might be canon movies.
Maybe a little more than that.
Maybe, okay. But really all we're trying to do is capture the spirit. Every single one of these movies has definitely been inspired by the men themselves.
Right,
Golan
yeah.
and Globus.
I mean, we want to do these, like, we don't want to get like pigeonholed into just going. I mean, Golan-Globus is our bread and butter. That's what we love the most. But we also want to explore other like genre. Well, not genres because we're all doing action, but like other genres within genres. I don't know the right word. But so like this week we're doing, or this month we're doing all blaxploitation movies.
Oh yeah.
And so that's kind of what we're about. So if you're a new listener and you're like, hey, what the fuck? This movie you're gonna do isn't a Golan-Globus.
This isn't canon at all.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to your favorite canons eventually. Hey, we've done like, I don't know how many Chuck Norris movies we've done. So, hey, how about
We've
that?
done more than we probably would have liked to. But.
Yeah. Yeah. So we listen to you. In fact, now that we're getting like a big following, maybe we'll do some little more interactive shit where we'll put out like, hey, we'll like list the movies and let people decide. I'm open to that.
Oh yeah, no. If people wanted to hear something or had a suggestion, I'd be fine with it. But until then, fuck everybody. We're doing what we want.
Exactly.
We've got like the next 5 months planned out. But yeah, if someone wanted,
but that's the thing about us. We're so good at this now that we're like we can just turn on a dime and just do a different movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, the thing I wanted to bring up, this big explosion we have, Griff, because does this mean we got to start putting effort into the show? Does this mean we have to start editing?
When did we? Wow, I love. Wow, that's an oh boy moment right there. Fuck you. I do a great job editing.
No, I'm not. No, you do a great job adding to the show. I'm saying like we say fuck that. We fuck up. We just do something. We're like, put it in. We're not taking it out.
Yeah, we're not ever changing.
That's what I'm talking about editing.
We're not changing.
You do a great job adding all of the fucking extra shit.
This is not changing because I get an hour to 3 hours where it's like I can stand editing this. That's not changing. No.
Okay, well, hey, okay. No effort from us, guys. Just like always. Just the way you expect from us.
Oh boy. Okay, so guys,
from one cool thing to another cool thing,
you pitched this movie to me a while ago, and I was like, "Fuck yes, put that right on the block. We need to do this fucking movie." Just do the plot in like 40 words or less.
Are you ready to edit?
Yes.
Evil honkies try to poison the black man, and 3 brave black men come to the rescue.
Boom. You told me that, and I was like, absolutely.
Yeah, it can never happen in real life.
Oh, no, it's not close to home.
Can you imagine anyone tampering with anyone's water at all?
No. I met a tough nerd once, as he called himself. I'm a tough nerd. I know how to politic. He kind of did something similar. Yeah. I don't think he had the Doc Brown to back him.
We're talking, of course, we're from Detroit. We're talking about Flint, Michigan, and the whole water thing, which, by the way, is still going on. They haven't fixed the problem. People still have to drink bottled water, and I think this is where I get on my soapbox for 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
It's fucked up that nobody has been arrested or anything for this. No one. I'm not going to say anyone intentionally poisoned the water like our movie today.
Yeah.
But when they knew about it, they didn't do shit about it.
They didn't do shit,
and that's fucked up. And somebody needs to pay for that. And now I get off my soapbox.
Yep. And now that you're off the soapbox, let's go ahead and launch that trailer.
So let's do it, Griff. Fred Williamson, who we love, been on 2 episodes already. Jim Kelly from Enter the Dragon, who we love. Jim Brown, NFL legend, who we love. In Free the Hard Way.
Always the hard way.
This little mixture of mine is as lethal as cyanide. And as selective as a lady buying perfume.
You'll just work on the black folks. Leave the rest of us alone?
Just like sickle cell anemia, Mr. Feather.
How fast does this stuff work?
72 hours at the most.
Took God 7 days to create the world. We can cleanse it. Just 3.
Washington, L.A., Detroit. Just you wait and see. They are gonna kill every one of you, black, brown, tan.
All right. Thank you for that deliciously funk music. And God damn it, Rory, did you have to bring up the halftime show right before we started again?
Well, it just sounded very similar to the smooth soul grooves that Maroon 5 was doing.
Look, I'll have you know, I didn't pay attention to that Super Bowl. I was watching something a lot more interesting.
Puppy Bowl?
The Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Tournament. I mean, it was Melee when the Super Bowl was on, but fuck, that's Super Bowl blue chunks, and I don't care what anybody says. Like, it's cool to see defenses do well.
Dude, if there was a possible way they could both have lost, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work out that way.
I'm cool with, like, defenses being good, but I don't want to see 85-year-old Tom Brady barely throw the ball and, like, no offense. There was no offense. That defense is good, but there was zero offense. Jared Goff has been shit for weeks now. That offense blew chunks.
All of a sudden we became a sports radio show.
You started this.
Off mic I did.
Yeah, but you put it right there in my brain.
I just want let's just put a bow on it.
Let's
if
do
only
it.
Bane had showed up to blow up the field and kill both teams, I think we'd all be happy.
I think all of America would be united, and that's all I'll say about that.
And I bet Bane.
Hello?
You know what? I bet Bane would have said about Adam Levine's voice. It's a lovely, lovely voice.
Batman, did you meet my friend Adam Levine? Great voice.
Such a lovely voice.
La la la. Okay, let's
get
get
in the movie.
Let's get to the movie.
So the movie starts out. It's very confused. Were you confused? I was confused.
I was confused as fuck.
Because it starts out like a James Bond movie where usually movies start out right with the credits. This was like a prologue kind of thing. So we see a black guy, and he's surrounded by these like redneck like sheriff guys, and it's like I guess it was supposed to be like a prison cell, but it looked like a hotel because it was a hallway with a bunch of doors.
Dude, it looked like a motel. I couldn't. I had to ask you, like, what was your interpretation of this? Because I just blanked out.
It was like a dream. We have our own interpretations of it.
I watched it twice, and I was just like,
well, it didn't help that the picture was super dark. We watched this on YouTube. So, by the way, if you want to watch it, it's on YouTube for free. But it was the worst print.
It's illegal.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I don't know.
I'm sure somebody owns the rights to this movie.
Fucking sue YouTube. What the fuck am I doing? I'm not pirating it. It's on YouTube. So, so it's very dark. I don't know if it was the picture quality or this is how it was filmed.
No, it was uploaded like shit because the quality the guy had was shit. So
yeah. So he's got like a tray and he's doling out meals to these prisoners.
Yeah.
And while that's going on, I guess one of the guards is distracted. And while they are, he sees like a crowbar like on this table and he grabs it and hides it in his shirt.
I saw the crowbar. I saw him sneak it under, and then he just kind of like. In my mind, he ends up in a room that has a bunch of dead people in it.
Well, I don't know how Like you figure, all right, he fed everybody. Why did they let him go? Like he's like left to roam around this hotel or whatever.
They're just like, oh, that's Rick. Rick's cool. Let him walk around.
Right. And so he takes a crowbar and then like opens this door, which is like a French door. It's got like windows, and he can just bust it out and go out. And he's making a ton of noise, and nobody hears him. And right, you said he gets out and he runs into like barn area, and there's this big piles of like dead black men. And he decided he's going to like pretend he's dead and hide inside them.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because the alarm goes off once he breaks out of the door. And so they're all looking for him, and he thinks that's the perfect place to hide, but it's not because he's found. But he gets a drop on the
guy was super surprised. He like all the bodies were covered with like tarps.
Yeah.
And so he hides under the tarp with one of the guys. The guard goes, for some reason, he looks at that exact tarp. Whatever.
It could happen.
Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah,
but fucking, as we know him now, House is ready for him. So he gets up and delivers a throat punch that's straight out of like, I don't know. It's right up there with Leonidas' kick into the pit. What does he say? Like, welcome to the fall.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. That classic line, welcome to the fall.
Whatever.
I don't know what he says. I think this is Sparta. Doesn't he say that?
Oh, yeah. That's what
welcome
it was.
to the fall.
Dude, I don't remember these fucking
This
movies.
is really the pit.
It's actually a pit. So he fucking punches that man in the throat, says, welcome to the pit. And he just fucking knocks him out. This starts my love of the karate they have in this movie.
It was some very Chuck Norris level karate, and I'm not using it as a compliment.
Oh, come on, really?
No, I was really disappointed in Jim Kelly's fight choreography.
Really?
Yes. There was a lot of old man kicking.
I really liked a lot of it.
He did some sweet, like, Van Damme style kicks where he kicks his leg up and then he, like, bends at the knee and kicks. Those are pretty sweet.
Dude, I liked a lot.
I love Jim Kelly. I'm not knocking him.
I know, I get it.
I'm
not saying that. I thought a lot of it was great.
Well, we'll get into
There's much more emotion, I think, is why I was like, it made me. It's like wrestling. I believed it because they made me believe it. Whereas Chuck doesn't even care.
He's just collecting a paycheck.
That's why it's like you can clearly tell when it's Chuck and his brother Nick or whatever. Aaron.
I think.
Wow, you remembered?
I think it's Aaron.
I'm surprised you remembered.
Well, we've covered like 20 fucking Chuck Norris movies.
And Aaron comes up in every one because he always directs.
Yeah, so
and stunt doubles.
Throat punch, grabs the gun, takes off, and then he gets shot in the process. Right when he's leaving this.
Yeah, he gets shot in the back because he like heads off for the woods. We're in the middle of the woods apparently.
Right.
And you know, whenever you're in the woods, you've been shot. You just run long enough, about 8 minutes, and you're bound to run across a young couple fucking.
Right. Well, I think that happened. That happened at 10 to midnight too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's where you fucked back in the day. If you didn't have money for a hotel.
I went on a solo trip to Nashville. I went out to the woods for a while. I got shot. I ran for 8 minutes. Found a young couple fucking. I said, "Hey, you guys mind taking me back to town?" They're like, "Yeah, sure. What's your name? Want to get a Taco Bueno on the way?"
That's some Midwest hospitality there.
That's right there.
I mean, I'd be pissed off if somebody interrupted my boning and it was like, hey, let me finish, motherfucker. Then we'll worry about your
I will say I was disappointed on how much they wanted to talk about how good the boning was because it's like I really don't care. I'm bleeding to death here, but I was trying to be nice because they're saving my life. So I was like, "Hey, man, that sounds like you got a great dick there."
So they get in the car and they take off. They're kind of scared of him, yet they want to help him. It was weird. We had a gun, so I guess that would be scary. But
yeah,
if I'm boning somebody and somebody runs in with a gun,
they were a little intimidated by him.
And so then now we finally get the intro. We get this fucking great song.
A lot of wicked chuckas.
We get a great romantic montage from our hero Jimmy Late, played by the great football hero Jim Brown.
He is in a class like way up there.
I'd put him
mimosas in the morning. Oh, sorry. I've had a few mimosas. He's drinking mimosas with his girl. Like he's got some nice.
I'd say it's a night on the town, but it's the daytime.
It's
a day on
daytime.
the town.
No, that's why brunch, man.
I think he's driving like a fucking Bentley or a Rolls Royce. He's got a very expensive car.
I don't recognize cars outside of my yellow truck. I don't know what you drive. I
drive a Bentley now because we're fucking making the cash. Because I want to be like Jimmy.
Do you want to be like Jim?
So they're going to the finest restaurants. They're walking in the park. They're doing every fucking thing you can imagine. They're taking a fucking sleigh ride, and it's fucking in the middle of summer. They're just doing everything.
Horse and carriage.
It's awesome. And we're getting this great song in the background, and then
they finally show up to that. Like he goes back to his office, right?
Yes, because he's a big record producer.
Big record producer.
So yeah, so yeah, he goes to the garage, the parking garage, and they coincidentally they run into these guys like, Jimmy, we know anytime we find a black guy who's shot, we come to you. Can you take him off our hands?
So wait, that was the people who saved him, right?
Yes.
Okay, they're like Mr. Lee, and it happened to be Mr. Lee. Does that mean they just went to every person and yelled? No,
everybody knows. First of all, it's late, but everybody knows when you have a black guy shot, you go to Mr. Lade. He knows what to do.
Lade, okay.
So yeah, so he goes, all right. He takes their car. He's just like, all right, you get the keys in here. I'm taking this guy to the hospital. So
people were just like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, you take your car. Yeah, we'll just finish fucking behind this car.
We've been waiting to finish our bone sesh. Do you mind giving us the keys to your office? No. Okay, we'll just fuck over here.
So they make a beeline for the hospital, and this is where we get a very God, this is some acting in this scene,
dude.
You can just see there's little tears in Jimmy's eyes
because
this is like his brother from another mother. This guy loves this guy. He's worried he might die. And House is delirious. He's just saying all this crazy shit, and he's just like, "Oh, they're working on this thing. All these dead black people.
They're putting it in the water."
And
what
he's
does that mean?
He's like, "Jimmy, what does that mean? You're delirious, man. It's just rest." And he's just like, "No, and then he passes out. And then Jimmy's girlfriend Wendy shows up, and she's like, "Look, I just got a call from Bernie. You got this hot fucking new group.
You got to get to the studio.
Yeah.
You trust me, right?" And we get that trust test, that trust fall, but it's more,
He actually did a trust fall before. He's like, well, let me fall. And if you catch me, I'll trust you. And she caught him.
Of course she did. And so he's like, I'll go. Keep an eye on him, though.
Right.
Did the eye thing with the two fingers, because, I mean, like you said, this man is a brother from another mother. So he wants to keep him safe. But really, we don't care about keeping him safe. We need to see what fucking Jimmy does.
He's
for
like
work.
The modern day in the past, which is the opposite of modern day, Kanye West. He is just the mastermind behind the mixing boards.
He is a mastermind.
So we get I'm assuming this is the band The Impressions because they did the soundtrack. At least that's what I saw in the credits. So I'm assuming it's The Impressions. And they're doing a song, and they sing the entire song practically. And he's like, wait, hold it.
Whole song.
And I thought they were doing a pretty good job.
I thought they were great.
And it was a song, but this is why I think he stopped them, because it was a song about what you do for love. The whole song was like, you do this for love, you do that, and it was fucking with Jimmy's mind. He's like,
really
why am I fucking here collecting my paycheck when I can be helping my family?
I should be there. Oh, man.
So he's like, fuck this shit, stop. And his buddy CeeLo Green, because I don't know, the guy looked like CeeLo Green to me. He's like, hey man, you going crazy. He's like, you need to be with House. I'll take care of this.
Oh boy.
And he's like,
you get an old boy for that.
I don't even know if that was. You'll have to explain how that was offensive.
Oh,
it might have been sonically offensive, but
okay, yeah, we'll go for that one.
so
sometimes I just feel old boys in my heart. That's my one love is old boying you.
Okay, well, we be for a treat at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So he goes, yes, all right, you're right. I'm gonna go back. So in the meantime, while he's driving back, lay out the scene for me, Griff. You have a very interesting perspective on this scene.
When he's driving back. Okay, so we're going to cut back to the hospital. Jimmy, out of the picture. We know he's on his way to the hospital. But his girl's there.
We trust her. She
Wendy.
caught him.
We trust Wendy. But, of course, Wendy has to go out to get, a cup of soup or a cup of coffee or something. So she's leaving House alone. As she walks out the door, you see the door close behind her, and then you see a fucking... what were those electrician pod lifts called?
I call them a cherry picker.
Cherry pickers. No, that's exactly what they're called.
Yeah.
A cherry picker a picture of a cherry picker. A cherry picker.
I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming everybody, because I don't know. We have a lot of like foreign listeners. I don't know if they call it a cherry picker out there, but it's the fucking like crane that they use to work on telephone lines.
Yeah, telephone lines. So he pulls up. We just get these crewmen pulling up, and they're picking it right up to that window, and it's like, what other window?
I love
could
how
it
they
be?
know the exact window.
I love how they got a cherry picker in there, and no one give a shit.
They got connections. Well, when you see somebody, you just assume they know what they're doing. That's
a good
what
point.
you do. You put on a hard hat, and that's like, do whatever you want. Just come in my house. I don't care.
You put on a yellow fucking hard hat, and yeah, I'll let you come in.
Little orange vest, and like you're in,
dude. Works in every TV show. It works in this movie, too. So, fucking, the guy comes up, pops in the window, House wakes up, says, no! Gets shot 5 times. Now, it's a silence gun, and there's so many skills happening
I think he drops,
here.
like, he's how evil this guy is. He drops an N-bomb on top of it.
Oh,
like,
he does.
Insult to injury. It's just like, you don't need to go there, man.
And I got to tell you, Barry, I'm a little upset about this scene now because a certain event happened between the first time I watched this and the second time I watched this.
Lay it on me.
And then I realized who this unnamed actor was in this scene. It's Liam fucking Neeson. It's a young Liam Neeson.
Whoa, you're blowing my mind.
The skills involved?
Yeah, he did. He didn't use a particular set of skills when he was doing this murder.
Fucking Liam Neeson's in this move, pulling out his full racist card because his friend...
Do you think this is the thing that Liam Neeson was talking about in that whole kerfuffle or whatever?
I mean, he said
with?
He was hell-bent to kill some black people, so...
Wow, man, that's fucked up.
Liam Neeson, this is a big old boy for you.
So this is an old boy moment if there ever was one. You throw me under the bus all the time, Griff, but this I'm going to sign off on this.
Liam Neeson gets a big old boy for that one. So he fucking murders the guy, puts him in the cherry picker. I guess the other guy takes him down or something, but then he waits behind the door. Apparently they knew about Wendy because they wanted to kill him and they need a hostage too. So they wait. They grab Wendy.
If you kill Jimmy Late's friend, you got to expect he's going to come back for some revenge. So they wanted a bargaining chip.
I didn't even know they knew that much, but apparently they did. They planned ahead. So they capture Jimmy Late's girlfriend, Wendy, or wife. I don't know.
It was a girlfriend.
Girlfriend. So now, burp. Mimosas, man, they're killing me. So now I'm living like Jimmy.
So now Jimmy shows up.
Yeah.
And the cops are already there, and of course they're useless.
The cops are useless. The nurse is freaking out. I don't know what happened. I left for a second. I was going to get soup with your lady Wendy.
And he's like, "What are you talking about? The door was shut, and how the fuck did anybody get in?
How?"
And like, I don't know. And I don't know why he slapped the nurse for some reason. I don't know. That was kind of.
There's a lot of slapping in this movie.
And he's just like. He knows how useless the fucking cops are.
Yeah, there's a lieutenant there talking. He knows Jimmy Late.
Yeah.
They work together. And Jimmy was like, no, you don't have the voice.
So then he went into police work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I recognize the detective. I think he's the guy who plays Mo Green from The Godfather. So that's a little nerd shit to throw in there. Get shot in the face.
Guess what? I don't like the Godfather movies.
Ooh, that was a hot take.
Mafia movies suck.
Well...
Godfather 2 is okay.
There goes our Italian listeners. Sorry, Joey Buttafuoco. Griff doesn't like The Godfather.
Who's the guy who does those movies?
Martin Scorsese.
Also don't like a lot of his movies.
Wow.
Taxi Driver, awesome movie.
Good thing we're not going to be covering any of them on this show.
Go on.
So the useless cop, he's just like, Jimmy's like, oh, fuck, I got to do it my own. He's like, you can't do it alone, Jimmy. Yeah. And he's like, fuck you.
Do your job.
Put fucking the cop right in his place.
I'll do me.
Yeah, me will do me.
Me will do me.
And so they part ways. So Jimmy immediately makes a beeline for his gun.
Of course.
he's feeling what Liam Neeson was feeling.
Right.
He's feeling this rage.
Oh, man, it was like a transference.
Yes.
Like it hung around the room. That's straight up fucking David Lynch shit right there.
So he goes to get his car in the parking garage, but they're way ahead of him.
Yeah.
Because these guys are like...
Not the cops. The bad guys.
Well, cops are kind of the bad guys later on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the bad guys, they're waiting for him. They have like so many contingency plans. They have, it's amazing how far forward these people think.
Again, you did say that they knew Jimmy Late would be coming. Jimmy would be coming for them. So yeah, clearly they knew this.
And then it makes
They
you
camped
think,
them out.
why did okay, they kill them. What's the point of kidnapping the girlfriend? I don't know.
No.
But so we have a very
Insurance. White people love insurance.
they do. So we have a bizarre
I get insurance on my toothbrush.
We have a very slow speed on foot versus car chase on the top of a parking garage.
Dude, at least this scene takes place in a minute. I love this scene.
Well, it's still super slow. Like it was like last week's Foxy Brown, where Jim Brown could have just literally just walked, sauntered out of the way of these cars.
Yep.
And so you're right. You mentioned earlier. So one car's going one direction, one's going the other. And
they're on the top of a parking structure now, so it's just a little concrete wall and then a 50,000-foot drop to the street.
Close, give or take. And so
Just like our inauguration.
So one's going towards Jimmy. He dives out of the way. It goes over the edge. And meanwhile, the other car was going the opposite direction. Somehow it made a U-turn. And they're going over. They're both going over at the same time, and they explode before they even hit the ground. They explode.
They're on fire. You see Jimmy shoot one of the cars, and then it takes a right turn, probably into America. But actually, it was just over the parking structure.
These are very flammable cars. They just burst into flame. Spontaneous combustion.
They always say they don't make them like they used to, and I'm like, I don't think I want one of those old
I don't
cars.
think they maybe it was a Pinto, because Pintos would blow up if you just backed into something.
I heard that, but those weren't Pintos,
no, those
so
were-
I don't trust.
Oh, now you know cars.
I know the Pinto only because you bring it up every week. Well, because we see a lot of exploding cars.
So, cut to the hunky headquarters, as Griff wrote in her notes.
I love to call this the honky headquarters.
Well, it was. You're right.
Yeah.
This is where we see our villains, these white supremacist fuck faces.
Oh man, there's.
And we see the main villain, Monroe Feather. Now, if anybody who's over the age of 40 might recognize this guy from the Saturday morning show from the 70s called Dr. Shrinker, where he was a guy who shrank people.
Really?
Yes, it was the classic. You're too young for this, but Sid and Marty Krofft. There were these two brothers that made these fucking weird psychedelic drug infused shows. Yet it still was for us kids to watch.
That sounds wonderful.
Oh yeah, well check them out. They're pretty weird.
What did you say it was called?
They're called Sid and Marty Krofft. They were brothers, and they had a ton of shows in the early
Sid and Marty
70s.
Krofft. Yeah, I might have to check that shit out.
And they actually sued McDonald's because they remember McDonald's Land had all those characters like Hamburglar.
Yeah,
it was a straight rip off of their shit, and they sued and they succeeded. That's why you never see any of those characters anymore.
Wow, you just pat fact the fuck out of me.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. We educate and entertain. So he lays out the fucking plan. It's straight out of Flint. Because he has to gloat over Wendy.
He is so excited about this plan. He gloats to everybody.
Is this where he's talking with the doctor, the scientist?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, no, I think he goes over the plan with the scientist. There's some exposition because the scientist is like, "I have it, it's done."
Yeah, he does, but it's like in a scene a little later on. At this point, he captures. They get Wendy, and she's being all fidgety and stuff, and the guy who's holding her, Liam Neeson.
He would say
he's ready to.
I wouldn't say this, but Marone Feather would say uppity. But
yeah.
So,
get that uppity bitch out of here. He says that a lot. And
he talks like
I'm going to tell you, I had to pause a couple times to just fan myself with old boys because I was.
he was dropping some racial slurs.
The racist heat is extraordinary.
He has to let you know what a foul piece of shit he is. So we're happy when he dies.
Yeah, this is true.
He does a good job, Dr. Shrinker. You did a good job.
This is I'm getting flashes of the Green Book, which is just isn't this guy racist?
Griff, once again, who starred in the Green Book again?
I don't remember.
Who
was in it?
Was it Vincent Morgenstern? Isn't that who you said it was?
Oh, Virgil Morgenstern.
Virgil Morgenstern.
Dude, I don't remember any names.
I just want to point out for anybody who's started listening knows that's not shticked. He really does not know the names of anybody.
Don't.
Virgil Morgenstern.
I think it was 15 episodes in when you finally noticed it, and so you started writing every name down.
Yes.
And even
that's
still,
true.
when we were going over this episode, you're like, it's written at the top, Griff.
Yes.
And you pointed to
I
it.
had to do a little key of the cast members. I forget it too, so I'm not going to throw you too far under the bus. But so anyway, so he's just gloating, and it's like, we're going to just kill all you blacks. And
yeah, his henchman's just slapping Wendy around at this
because she's not
point.
taking shit from this cracker. She's like, fuck you. And then he's like, henchman, take care of her. And he's more than willing to do it. This guy loves slapping black women.
I mean, ooh. So let's see.
Let me hear it, Griff. Give me a...
Oh boy! So we find out we go to our scene cut because Monroe Feather finds out that another one of the guys he's after, who there's 3 people in the world who can stop his genius plan.
Well, no, he gets a call because they're monitoring Jimmy, and he's like, Jimmy went to Chicago because Jimmy got to get his crew together.
Oh, okay. So this is how he...
Yes.
Okay. So he knows that Jimmy's got a guy in Chicago. And it happens to be... Mimosas, I'm sorry. It happens to be... I thought all of his action scenes were great. Mr. Keys. Wait.
No.
No, this was Jag.
This was Jagger.
And just like...
He's got the moves like Jagger.
Just like in The Soldier, it is an unsolicited attack. I think it was a reversal, though. Because Jim Brown attacks him.
Yeah, well, you're getting way ahead of yourself. Because first we get an establishing shot of what Jagger's about. Because Jagger, played by the great...
I'm so excited.
The great Fred Williamson.
Great.
Mustache-less,
I couldn't recognize him.
And he's
Took a
like
while.
he's all about the ladies.
Once he got those pecs out, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he's got a really deep V going on.
All movie long.
And so he makes up for the mustache with the chest hair.
If you don't recognize it, just look up one of our congressmen in the South, and he probably cosplayed as him in like the 70s. Cause
I want to say, oh boy, to that.
I'm sorry. A lot of people are coming out saying like, oh yeah, I went blackface. And
so you're saying the I'm kind of turning around on this the governor. If you're saying he was actually trying to be Fred Williamson, because I think everybody should try to be Fred Williamson. So maybe that should be his defense. I don't know.
Maybe.
So yeah, so Fred, he's like Jagger in the movie. Jagger Daniels, great fucking name.
I did like it.
He just finished boning a chick. He's the gentleman. He's putting her in the car, sending her home because he's got shit to do.
Paid for the taxi and everything.
And then he goes up to his room, and you're like, this is where it happened. Yeah. Jimmy laying in wait.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I even put it in the notes here because I was so happy about it. When he puts the girl in the car, he starts clapping.
Well, he did a great job. He's got to applaud himself.
Is he congratulating himself?
Yes.
What is it?
Apparently, you've never laid a great bone down on a woman because you should give yourself a clap.
Okay.
So he goes up to his apartment.
Put that in my wall.
He goes up to his apartment, and then Jimmy's laying in wait because, like you said, it takes us a flashback to the soldier because he's seeing if the guy still has it because he knows he's got a mission that's super difficult, and if Jagger can't hang, he's out.
He's too busy boning ladies. Maybe he lost all of his good skills,
Right,
his useful skills.
Zen Master Seagal taught me, man, you lose your chi when you're just jizzing on everybody.
Zen Master Seagal taught me to always wear a bulletproof kimono. So
I always do. I didn't need to learn that.
I mean,
whenever I'm wearing a kimono, you better believe it's bulletproof.
I looked up the patents on that. That's not patented. So Merman Productions might be moving in on that market.
Let's do it.
There's a whole market out there for it.
Okay. So, getting back to the movie. So he's tested him out, much like our man Steve James tested out the soldier. He attacks our man Jagger. And Jagger holds his own. I mean, it's a back and forth, but he holds his own. And he throws Jimmy down and whips out a gun, I think.
He does.
And Jimmy's like, whoa. I was just checking you out, and you still got it, brother.
Yeah.
And he's like, God damn, motherfucker. Couldn't you just said hi? Jagger's, as you would surmise, is pissed off. But they're brothers, so that's cool.
Yeah, so they're like, man, my heart's racing. I need to go get some fresh air. Right. So they go out. They're going on a nice long walk. They're going up the tram and everything. But as the audience...
Well, first of all, I think they have to justify their trip to Chicago. So there's a lot of, just seeing them walking in Chicago.
There's a lot of random shots. You can see the Rump Tower in the background and everything.
Rump Tower?
Rump Tower?
You said that?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
It's a tower in Chicago.
Okay, I thought there was the Sears Tower. I don't know what the Rump Tower is.
The Rump? You've... Don't worry about it. It's there. The Rump Tower is out there in Chicago.
Take your word for it.
And so we see it but you don't remember it. It's okay. So they're walking around, but as the audience, we're witnessing that there's two fucking honkies following
Lurking.
him around. Just lurking.
Savages.
Couple
They're looking to go wilding on these respectable black gentlemen.
And so it's like right after a tram passes them by that they try to make their move. And, of course, they fuck it all up because they suck. And the aura of greatness just emitting from
Well, I think they're tapping into the 9 powers of the ninja, man.
Yeah, I think so. It's just flowing off of
So
them.
I think Jimmy just hurls one on like between two train cars, and the guy gets squashed.
Dude, it's gruesome. I couldn't get this movie by certain means because of all this graphic violence in this scene and a scene later, which Mrs. Hageman would not have allowed me to watch.
You're right.
So
of course, the other guy's like, oh, shit, and just starts running, and this is where it makes no sense. Okay, I just want to point out, Jim Brown, one of the top 5 greatest running backs of all fucking time.
I was wondering what someone was trying to say on a comment, and I was so confused, and then it just hit me.
You got Jim Brown. You have Fred Williamson, who also played professional football. They can't catch a white guy. Like, he's outrunning them.
Yeah.
That's some movie magic right there. They had to CGI that shit.
That it should have looked more like our runaway scene from Foxy Brown, where they're walking and just knocking things over. That's what it should have looked like.
It would be more believable if the guy was knocking shit off over behind
because this was just a dead sprint down the sidewalk. He ends up getting to like some weird like fairground thing.
Right.
It had like carnival games and skee ball and that kind of shit.
Right.
And so they're looking for him. They can't find him.
Well, he hides in the photo booth.
Yeah.
And
I
love the move, like, because Fred Williamson, he was just totally in the zone. Like, I don't know what there was. It was like a counter with like a half door that opens. He like does this like fucking roll and shit, and then comes up and like opens it. There's nothing in there. Meanwhile, the guy behind him in the photo booth with the gun comes out.
Yeah,
and
he shot him through the photo booth.
Well, yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
And then a whole fucking sea of white guys show up.
They were just waiting there. They were waiting to flush him out there. Apparently.
That was maybe that was a trap.
It might have been.
So, but not a trap for Jagger and Jimmy, because they start killing fucking everybody.
Everybody. So
somehow, I guess he must have got from a guy he killed, but Jimmy had a shotgun and was shooting people. Yeah. And this fucking hunky's fucking flying everywhere.
So I think this is like they get one of them,
yes,
and they're like, "You're gonna tell us what the fuck's going on." And
he's like, "Fuck you! I ain't gonna say shit."
Yeah, and he starts going on about how there's like a genocide going on and how they're adding some kind of additive to water. Like, is that this scene or is this a different one?
No, I think
no.
Okay, no, what? No, yeah, this is the scene happens. They capture him, and then we go back to Hunky HQ. And this is what you're talking about. This is where we get the plan of what the white people are going to do.
Yeah, this is where we get to meet pre-80s. What's the professor from fucking
Dr.
Back to the
Shrinker?
Future?
Oh, Professor Doc Brown.
This is pre-Back to the Future Doc Brown. Before he goes chaotic good from chaotic evil. This is chaotic evil.
Before he had his Liam Neeson moment where he realized what he was doing was fucked up.
Yeah, this is him in his Liam Neeson moment. Before he did the Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White.
Yeah, that makes sense. But so this is where we get the plan. We learn that this Dr. Fortrero in the movie, he's been working on this formula that they want to. The grand plan of Monroe Feather is they're going to put. Because apparently all black people only live in L.A., Washington, D.C., and Detroit.
Well, I think that was their test market.
Well, they were like, maybe they're like the most live there. Even though I think New York City would be what we'd want to do.
I think it was just a test market. They got to test it out.
It's like clear Pepsi or something. They're testing it out.
Exactly.
Okay.
You're on the right ball here.
Okay. So they're like, okay.
It's like if you've ever gone down south, sometimes the McDonald's have things we don't have here.
You might be right, because they're probably like, there's probably some white people we like. If this like kills white people, we don't care about Detroit white people or Washington D.C. You're probably right. So it's a test of those cities.
If we kill the D.C. white people, it's just congressmen. Who cares?
Right.
Detroit.
Right.
California is all liberal, so who cares?
I think you're onto something.
So
we get the exposition plan. He's like, yes, this will kill all of those blacks, and we'll have a pure country. We'll make America great again. Dude's wearing a MAGA hat. I thought that was tasteless.
I thought it was affecting the time current, the time streams, Doc Brown. You know, you're not supposed to do that, but
yes.
There he goes,
He's
Doc
like,
Brown.
now if we dump this in the water at 88 miles an hour, we will kill all the black people in America.
Dump it in the water and stir it
and then,
up to 88 miles.
And then Dr. Shrinker drops this fucking chilling line. It's like,
Ooh.
it took God 7 days to create the world. We'll cleanse it in just 3. Back to foreshadow. 3 days, 3 the hard way.
I ejaculated while saying my oh boy during that one. That was so offensive. I got off.
You were so righteously indignant that you just blew a load.
I had to call my therapist at that moment and said, I just jerked off to a moment that was so offensive.
But so was that you cleansing it in a way?
I don't know. I don't know. We're going to talk about
it
tomorrow.
You cleansed it in 3 tugs. Is what you did. So this is our man. We finally meet our man Jim Kelly, a.k.a. Mr. Keys.
The fucking best.
So he's wearing this fucking. It was like leather. It was fucking amazing.
Leather.
It was amazing.
And
outfit.
it was. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Unlike our fucking Sensei Seagal, it is skin tight. You get to see every bulging muscle of this man just fucking protruding through this tight leather outfit.
Before we see Mr. Keys, we see he's got like a Cadillac parked on the street.
Yeah.
And we see these fucking asshole cops, white and black, I might want to point out.
Yeah.
They were
Rigging
leaving
it up, yeah.
They were planting like either some kind of white powder, heroin, cocaine, I don't know. I don't do
PCP.
that. I live clean.
P2P.
I could have been P2P. And they're planting it because for some reason they want to get Mr. Keys is probably because he's so busy helping the community. Like, we got to get this guy out. He's making us look bad.
Yeah.
So he shows up, he's getting in his car. Then the cop, excuse me, mister, you got a license? And he's like, yeah, sure, here.
He's playing it very cool. He's just like, yeah, of course.
And he's like looking at the license. It's Mr. Keys. His name is Mr. Keys.
Mr. Keys. Mr. Keys? Is that really your first name, Mr.? Who would name you Mr.?
He's like, hey, my mama wanted me to get respect. And what better respect than be named Mr. Keys? And he's like, let me check your car. You look very suspicious, Mr. Keys.
Let me see that registration. He's just fuming with, like, I had to call you Mister. The racism is so thick.
You're onto something. I think that is what they were trying to do. And so he opens the door. He's like, allow me to open the door, Mr. really fucking sarcastic Keys. And he's like, what's that in there? And he's like, I don't fucking know. I didn't put that there. And then Mr. Keys like, you know what? I don't have to deal with this shit. So he just starts beating the shit out of the cop with some kung fu moves.
Well, no, they find a gun in the car.
Do they? I thought they just had the drugs.
No, they planted a gun in there. And so the cops were like, well, now I have to pull out my gun. And he's like, man, I am not being set up today. And
I'm not having this today.
He just like throws, because his jacket has like kind of longer tails to it. So he throws a tail like Morpheus or something behind him. And he just starts fucking unloading these kicks. And you call them Chuck kicks.
They were pretty slow, man. I was really bummed out by
I think
it.
they slowed it down like Bruce Lee.
They did. That is true. There was a lot of unnecessary slow motion moves in this fight scene. So you're probably right. Sorry, Ghost of Jim Kelly. You did good. Because there really was literally a lot of slowing down in the
Because we've taken so long, we won't explain the action because we're terrible at that. But it just so
go
happens.
figure. We just do a show about action, but we don't explain action.
We cannot.
We're like,
do it at all.
there was fighting, some car crash. I don't fucking
There
know.
is a lot of shots from underneath him that I thought was very interesting. But
suffice it to say, he beats the shit out of like 12 cops.
and then Jim and Jack show up, almost Andy-like, where they're just like watching the fight. And again,
almost Chuck-like. Andy kicked ass.
God damn it!
Chuck,
I did it again.
Yeah.
I do that every week.
Mr.
now.
No Legs, people. Well, go
Mr.
on.
No Legs. But I do that every week now. So they're just like, shit, we had to see if you still had it in you. And it's like, of course I have it in me. So out of these people, I think they grab, or no, they go to this fucking car wash.
Go to a car wash for some reason.
What happened here? They all,
None of them had a car.
They all
Well, they hopped into Mr. Keys' car. Right.
And they all,
he's like, before we talk, I gotta get this shit. I gotta get this pig blood off my car.
So they end up at the car wash, And
Richard Pryor's there. It's just like car wash.
doing coke off his dick. Wait, no, sprinkling coke on his dick
Yeah.
to bang somebody so he doesn't lose his erection. And of course, this also happens to be a honky headquarter, so they're getting fucking attacked again. And
Jimmy gets shot
Jimmy gets shot
in the gut. And then Mr. Keys just takes care of business. He's like, I got it.
No big deal.
Beats the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
But they're like, shit, Jimmy, we got to send you to a doctor. So Jimmy goes off to a doctor, and then Jagger's like,
Look,
hey, we got to find out what's going on here.
they grab one of those fucking honkies, and they're like, get in the car.
He's like, whatever you say, sir. And then we get to the scene. I was thrown off by the scene, but this is like probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie. We get this scene. I thought it was the three fucking heroes. We get a red, white, and blue motorcycle.
Holy shit, this scene.
And they're totally covered up. They got jumpsuits and motorcycle helmets. One's red, one's white, one's blue.
Just driving towards the camera over a bridge.
Yeah, it's like Brooklyn Bridge or one of the bridges in New York.
I gotta tell you, this movie has inspired so many things. I told you about my ejaculation. I told you about everything. I stood up and saluted. Because
made you
I
proud to be
salute the
American.
troops, and apparently anytime you see an American flag, if you don't stand up and think about the troops, you're dishonoring the troops. There's so many things I do where I feel like I need to make sure people understand.
So
I
you
honor the
stood for
troops.
this scene.
I stood for it.
Did you put your hand over your heart?
I saluted.
Fuck you. Put your hand over
Am
your
I not
heart.
allowed to salute?
No, you're not. You're not. You didn't earn that right.
Holy shit, you're right. Oh, I'm sorry, troops.
So, yeah. So we get. I was fooled. I thought this was our three heroes, but it wasn't. So
No.
what happens is we go back to fucking. I guess Jagger. Jagger's got like a fucking apartment in every city in the
Everywhere.
country. So
He's got fuck pads
yes, fuck
in
that.
every city.
yeah. I mean, you're probably right. This is probably another woman's like apartment. He's like, bitch, I'm using it right now. I'll fuck you later.
Bitches leave.
Bitches leave. So and bitches enter because what happens is
Calm down on those mimosas. You keep burping up there.
fuck you. so it's contagious, like a yawn.
I know.
So
good.
yeah. So we see Jagger and Keys chilling, and they got the guy. Like first of all, Keys because he's a fucking ninja, so he knows ways to fucking make people talk, but he can't break this guy.
Yeah, he's like, I just learned this thing like a year ago. I've been using it I know how to do this. And he's like, no, I've got a team. And so these three beautiful women walk
Three
in.
motorcyclists show up. I thought were our three heroes, but no, they're these women. I'm assuming one is Hispanic. There's an Asian woman and a black woman. I'm assuming the other one was Hispanic. Could have been white. Could have been Native American.
Hey.
I don't judge.
Oh boy, I'm not going to go ahead and try to place labels on things. All I know were they're three beautiful women, and they were tough as nails.
You piece of shit. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, they were great. They were great.
So, yeah, and they rip the helmets off, and he's like, "Holy!" We're supposed to be like, "Holy shit!" Like, women, what are they going to do? And then Jagger goes, he points them out. That's Countess, that's Empress, and that's Princess.
Yeah,
and they can break any man,
anybody.
And then the women were like, when we're done, can we do what we want with them? He's like, hey, just get the information. You can do whatever the fuck you want with this guy. And they're like, solid. Cool. So they just go upstairs.
This is chilling and wonderful at the same time.
This was my favorite scene in the movie.
It's so good. In fact, if you on our Instagram, I did. Oh no, that's going to be coming up tomorrow. I'm going to be putting up the nice reaction of the hostage here. Because he goes through a whole plethora. If you've seen Futurama, you know about the snoo scene. Death by snoo.
Yeah. Yes, because what happens is they walk in and he's just like smirking. He's like, "What? Oh, you're gonna fucking break me? Some
what
broads?
are you babes gonna do?"
And they take their tops off.
And he's like, "Well, shit, I'm ready to go."
Yeah, he's like, Death by Snooze? Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Very akin to last week with Foxy Brown. They get his dick out, and they're just like, "Where's the rest of it?"
And they whip out. They had a Kinja Taché case with them.
Beautiful.
I think, and then
it was a prototype.
Yeah, prototype.
So it wasn't the full.
Right, but they did have. I think they had some Cold Sweat, the Bronson brand sexual lube, because their tits were shining. They put them all.
Once they finished,
it could have been petroleum jelly, but since it was sex related, I'm gonna say Cold Sweat.
It was Cold Sweat. You could tell. There's just a certain way it glistens in the light. Once you get used to both of them, you can tell.
Yes.
So they come out after the interrogation, and of course they're just tits, because they're not men, they're not pecs. They're tits flying. It just blade.
That's the scientific term. Tits.
It's scientific.
You could say breasts, but okay, tits.
So there's Brett's.
Brett's. Yeah. Got some Brett's here. What is this? Sledger Phil show up? No. Okay.
Hey dear, we got some hot dogs into Brett's for you.
So the guy's like, you'll see it tomorrow when you go on our Instagram. You'll see the reaction of this guy.
First thing in the morning.
Cut back to Jimmy.
Yeah.
Because we're thinking they're going to be fucking. So we cut back to Jimmy. He's getting patched up. And this is, we mentioned every episode we're going to have one of the good ones where we point out one white guy who's one of the good ones. And this is one of the good ones because we have a white doctor who's patching up Jimmy. And he got shot in the gut, by the way. This wasn't like a shoulder shot like in most action movies.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa, you need to rest. And he's like, no, man, I think he's like, I'll have a glass of milk. That'll help. I actually think he said that. And he's just like, no, you need to rest. And he was right, because I think Jimmy rested for like an hour and he was healed.
I'm glad you reminded me that I'm out of milk, because fuck, I love a good glass of milk. It does heal everything.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've told you about this ringing ear thing, and I finished off my last glass of milk while we were recording, and now my ear isn't ringing anymore.
Your ear first, people.
Dude,
people are saying medicinal marijuana is medicinal milk. It's been there right in your kitchen all these years.
Right there. Buy local milk, y'all.
So then we cut back because we're like, all right, we know what Jimmy's up to. He's safe.
This is post-interrogation now.
They're walking out.
We're fucking with timelines.
They're still topless. Mr. Key's like, damn, what's that? Jagger's like, I've been here before. Like, I've seen tits before. Cool it, Mr. Keys.
I think Keys was being cool about it.
No, he was
he?
He was a little into it.
I know he was really interested in what she had in the bag.
I think he was more interested in the torture techniques.
Yeah.
He's like, can you teach me?
Yeah.
And they're like,
he's all craft.
Okay, we got everything you need. And did they? I don't even remember. Well, they were like, oh, he's broken now. You can like interrogate him.
Yeah, they were just like, we're done with him.
And so he's like, Mr. Keys, let's go. So they show up. Guy's in his fucking tighty whities, and he's just like, he's like, looks like a guy fucking coming off heroin addiction. He's all sweaty, cold sweat. He's a literal cold sweat.
Yeah,
and he's just curled up in a fetal position. And they're just disgusted. But then Jagger's like, hey, you ain't ever been worked over by these broads. But they break it down. He's like, he cries like a baby. He's just like, we're going to put this shit in the water in Detroit and L.A. and Washington. There's nothing you black bastards can do.
Oh boy.
And I'm just repeating what he said.
Oh, I know. I'm not oh-boying you. I'm oh-boying plot. Okay?
Right. I don't know sometimes. So he just spills the whole plot, and then the girls come in. All right, can we finish him off? And then the dude just dies. What did they do to him? I don't know. We'll never know. I want to see that movie. Tarantino, make that movie.
Dude, Tarantino would be all over
Fox
that.
Force 3.
Dude, he has to have seen this. He's a huge fan of blaxploitation movies.
I'm sure
he has to have seen this.
Oh, definitely.
I'm disappointed he hasn't made this into a movie yet.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was a callback when Uma Thurman, she's riding her bike with the yellow outfit. That's probably a callback to this movie.
That might be. Because he could totally turn that into a 4.5-hour movie. Interrogation, all that shit, he could totally do it. And you know what? I don't praise him, but I like all of his movies. I enjoy him.
Okay. Well, that's a hot take.
Is it? Wait, what does that mean? Am I supposed to praise it?
It's nothing. Like, big deal. We all like Quentin Tarantino here.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Nobody cares, Griff.
Oh, okay. Wow, you're being a real dick about this. All right?
So we get the plan. L.A., D.C., Detroit, to be poisoned. And we get this is where we get the line from our man Jim Brown. This is 3 the hard way, boys. 3 cities and 3 of us. So they're going to break up. Each guy is going to take a city and stop this fucking plan.
3 heroes for each city. Well,
So-
1 hero for each city.
So we go back, we see what Wendy's up to at Hunky headquarters. I don't remember. Break it down for me, Griff.
Well, there's more exposition about how we're going to go into these water plants. We're going to go to the dam there up in
L.A.
L.A.?
Well, California. I guess
California.
wherever L.A. gets their water. I don't
Yeah.
know if they get it straight
They're
from L.A.
going to go to a dam in California. They're going to go to like a water plant in Detroit. And then in D.C., they're going to go to...
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
A
They're trying to
water
poison the
thing.
water, so you go to the water treatment plant.
So they're telling us and Wendy, us the audience and Wendy, about, what 3 scenes we're about to see take place.
Right, and then, well, what happens is this is where I think the scene you were alluding to at the beginning of the movie.
Maybe.
This is the scene we get where the doc, because Mr. Feathers is kind of, like, scared. He's like, whoa, we got fucking the 3 the hard way after our ass.
It's kind of funny because this is a guy who runs like a full-on Nazi camp.
Right.
And he's like...
But he's a
Such-
bitch. He's a bitch at heart.
he's like ringing the collar there. He's like, oh, I don't know.
And then, like, the doctor's like, "Look, this is my master plan. This is the fucking polio vaccine for me. This is like the greatest thing ever. You're not bitching out on me now. We got to do this."
Just to really imply that it's going to go the Doc Brown's way, he takes him out on a little rowboat to a middle of, a big old lake. Did you notice that? The big old lake that he took him out
No, I
onto?
didn't notice that.
Wow, this is what happens when we don't get
I
the
was-
Laserdisc. Laserdisc
Yes.
version.
I was so pissed off I couldn't find. We have so many a massive amount of Laserdiscs in our library. I couldn't find it, so I had to watch the shitty YouTube.
It's disappointing. But he takes him out there in the middle of a fucking lake, and he's just, like, giving him the implication. Also, he tied his ankle to, a couple cement bricks. So it's basically like, you're going to do things Doc Brown's way? You're going to be sleeping with the fishes. So, of course, Feather Monroe is just like, we got to do this. We got to poison that water. He's like, nah, you're talking.
So they're like, we can't stop these guys, so we got to stop these guys. So they set up a plan, the greatest plan. They call up Jimmy, because Jimmy goes back to L.A. Our man Jagger's going to Detroit, because that's where all the cool people live. And Mr. Keys is going to D.C. So Jimmy, so they're like, we got to get Jimmy out of the picture. So they're like, look, we'll give you Wendy back. Meet us at this.
It's a payphone.
Yeah, we're going to call you to payphone and tell you where to meet her. So Jimmy shows up, and there was a real pointless scene where his buddy CeeLo shows up with his car and talks about how great his car is, how much he loves his car. I don't know why that was in there. But CeeLo, his boy, is going to drive him. So they show up there. They show up at the payphone. Jimmy shows up. It's a setup.
Fucking car drives right through the payphone. You're like, oh my god, unless that was a TARDIS, they're fucked. That's a shout out to the Doctor Who.
Right.
That's the one.
Shout out to our boy Sean Pigeon for that one.
He likes that show.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
We got a lot of British listeners, so they probably like it too. So hey,
good.
we're not judging. I just don't
That's
watch
okay.
it.
I just don't watch it either.
So we get another slow chase. Well, Jimmy, they think they ran Jimmy over with a dump truck. But what they don't know is Jimmy grabbed on the side and climbed up in the back of the truck.
Don't know how I did it. This man has agility for days,
Well,
apparently.
he's fucking Jim Brown.
I know. I'm playing it up.
And I want to point out, he did his own stunt in this.
Did he?
He was climbing up in the truck for real. That was Jim Brown.
That's awesome.
So he does a move that Spielberg stole for Indiana Jones, where he goes up on the side, opens the door, throws the guy out, just like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and what does he do?
He climbs back into the back of the truck. He doesn't go into the cab. And so the guy starts shooting. The driver starts shooting above, but he's not paying attention to where he's driving anymore.
And there just happens to be a ramp, right in front of a billboard.
There just so happens to be a ramp right in front of a billboard. Jim Brown, using his super agility, notices, jumps out, fucking rolls.
And we all know how combustible billboards are.
And we all know how combustible cars were at this time.
Well, this was a dump truck. So this was like a real heavy-duty truck. And it just, as soon as it just taps into the billboard, it immediately bursts into flames and explodes.
Ooh, loved it.
So long, suckers.
So now we got to join Keys. And Keys, of course, has a karate school. And he goes there, and we're only there to find out that he has one trusty little sensei, and then what's under?
Student, I guess.
Student, I guess.
I don't know the
He's
word
got
for it.
one super trustful 50-year-old Asian student.
Yeah, well, it seems like Mr. Keys has a franchise. Like he has, like, because he's from New York, but this is D.C. his franchise, and he's got his man he trusts to run his school for him in D.C.
Yeah, and so like I was saying, he's got his 50-year-old best student. It's this Asian guy with a Super Bowl. It might be Shane grown up.
Yeah, no, because this guy actually kicked ass, and Shane Kazuki can't kick ass.
Maybe it was Kane.
It could. Well, no, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gotta be. No, I think it's gotta be Shane because he's got all that potential. Maybe Key's finally unlocked it. His name is Key.
I don't know.
Okay, goddamn.
Well, so yes, we meet his student, and first of all, we meet him while he's kicking Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead's ass.
Dude, I'm glad you brought that. Why was Lemmy there? I don't know, and I don't care. I'm just happy he was.
That ass kicking inspired the Ace of Spades album, so we're all happy about that.
Every one of us.
And yeah, so we know his prowess. He can kick Lemmy's ass, so you know he's a bad motherfucker. Because Lemmy's God. We learned that from
Lemmy
that one
God,
movie.
Yeah. But before we go any further with Mr. Key's story, and we're all invested in it now, we got to go to Detroit.
Yeah. I loved how they couldn't even bother to go to Detroit because we get all these setup scenes where Mr. Keys is in Washington. We see the Lincoln Memorial he's driving by.
Yeah.
We see they're like, trust us, it's fucking Detroit. They just show an airplane, that's all, and he gets
Wink.
off it. And yeah, so I guess he goes to one of his other fuck pads.
He's got another fuck pad. He lands immediately. A woman's like, "Jag, you're in town." He's like, "Of course." This goes back to I forget what episode we were talking about, Marked for Death, where every character, when they weren't in shot with Steven Seagal, were having exponential crisis. This woman didn't know what to do with herself after he flew away, so she just stayed there at the airport. He comes back, and she's like, "Hey."
Yeah, he's like, "Baby, I'll be back. I got to go get some smokes."
3 months later, "Hey, you're back. You ready to go back to my pad?" So let's go back to her pad.
And let's fuck, and that's what they do.
And, well, you know.
It's a very chaste fuck scene. It's a very Chuck Norris level fuck scene. There's no nudity. And while he's just about to climax, he gets a call. And he's like, "Baby, I got to answer this."
Duty always calls.
And it's Jimmy. And he's just like, "Brother, I need you. What the fuck's going on?" And then Jag's like, "Well, I've been fucking." And he's like, "Well, finish it up." So he's like, "All right, I gotta go, baby." And he hands her the phone. He didn't even have the like, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but he's just like, "You fucking hang up the phone for me."
I know.
So he hands it to her. Goes, "Hang it up, Mom. I gotta work."
Okay, we all know what beds look like. You know how
I don't. Can you explain it to me?
So it's like a rectangle. All right.
What's that?
A rectangle. It's a shape. So
I sleep on a futon.
So he's on the side closest to the phone. So he easily could have hung it up. But instead he turns over to his lady friend and says, "Can you hang this up for me? I'm tired."
You know, he says literally, "Hang it up, Mama. I got work."
And so she takes it for him, reaches over him, and hangs it up. I don't know why this scene needed to happen, but I loved it.
Because it just shows the power of Jag, man.
I guess so.
And this is him without a mustache. Imagine him with a mustache.
Dude, oh my. There would have been 5 women in there.
So we cut back to L.A.
Yeah.
Jimmy
sorry, guys. We're going to do some cuts here.
Jimmy needs his gun. And so, of course, you go to the pool hall to get your gun. His boy CeeLo's hanging out at the pool hall.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, I got your gun right here. You think I'm fat?" Whips out this fucking hand cannon to him. And this is where the cops finally show up. The useless piece of shit cops just want to hassle a brother. And so they're like, "Hey, I heard you finding out all this shit about what they're doing our job." You know, he's so jealous of fucking because Jimmy's just like, "I got it on lock. I don't need you, motherfucker."
Everybody's got to do it outside of the law.
And they're like, "Look, we're the law. Let us handle it." And Jimmy's like, "Back the fuck off, motherfucker." I love it. Like, he just totally brushes the cops off. He's got a gun on him. He just jumps in the car. He's like, "I got shit to do. Fuck y'all," and takes off. And the cops do nothing.
Dude, once he pulls the shades out of his jacket and pops him on, the cops are like, "We got nothing. Let him walk." And so this is the last we see of Jimmy for a second here, but he gets in his car, he just drives away. And you know what? That's cool. We're going to go join Jag again in Detroit.
Yes. Maybe. I don't know where it was. It was so dark
Dude,
I couldn't tell what was
my
going
God.
on.
You have a huge problem with dark scenes. When you don't get the laser disc version, it's really hard to tell what's going on. But it's this really awkward scene. There's a couple of cars screeching
We
everywhere.
were talking about it. I get the vibe that it was like it was a day shoot, and they put the filter on it to make it look like night because it was very weird lighting.
It's horrible lighting.
And so we get a very long, boring chase scene because, like we said, we can't fucking describe action for shit.
Well, there's action, and then there's car chases, which is like, wow, he turned left, and it screeched. And then they did a shot where they hung a camera outside of a car for just the tire.
Well,
Fuck that.
not only us, Jagger's bored with it because he pulls his car over and he's like at a wharf. I don't know where the fuck he is.
Yeah.
Because while all that car chase is going on, I think before the car chase, he grabs the because they have all these Kinji cases that have foam in them that have the cutout of the perfect cylinder where they have the poison in it.
The cylinder, it might have been the secret ooze that made the Ninja Turtles. It might be the ooze that'll kill all black people. We don't know.
What did the secret ooze do? I never saw that movie.
You don't know?
I didn't see it.
I guess it turned things into things. I haven't watched it as an adult, so I think it just turns things into things.
I don't know. Fill me in on Twitter, guys. So yes, he gets the Kinji case, and then they start chasing him. Then we have the long car chase, and then even he's like, I'm bored with this car chase. So he pulls over at like some wharfs. I don't know. We both couldn't figure out what this place was.
It's so weird.
But it's like
there's tubes everywhere. There's a weird floor under the floor.
It looks like a video game layout. It's just like,
Yeah, it's bizarre.
There's ladders. So he's like, I got the drop on him. What I'm going to do is so he's like at a ledge, and there's a ladder, and there's a little walkway going between I don't know, these levels. So he's like, I'm going to lay the Kinji case on this level here as bait, and I'm going to climb down this ladder and wait and just pick them off like ducks. And he does. They fall for it. So they go, oh my God, there's the fucking Kinji case. And they grab it, and then this fucking Jagger picks them off and kills all the hunkies. Detroit is safe. Everyone.
No big deal. That threat is gone.
Neutralized.
Let's go ahead and check in with our boy Keys. He's over in
Keys,
DC?
Yes.
DC.
So he's at the water treatment plant.
And we've already got a scene of like 1,000 different henchmen running into this plant.
They're all wearing like red berets, like the Guardian Angels from the 80s.
Yeah. And so Keys and his little assistant, what are we going to call him?
I don't know. I was trying to think of something we looked like.
What's the Green Hornets?
Kato?
Kato?
Okay, we can be Kato.
He can be Kato.
He's wearing some pretty sweet yellow tinted glasses too. So, he's hanging out with Keys. He's got to up his style, dude.
He really does. Well, Key was like, I'm embarrassed. Pop these on.
Yeah, he's like, this is a loner, motherfucker. And he's like, whatever you say, Mr. Keys. So yeah, they're like ninjaing it up. They're just fucking lurking in shadows and jumping out. They're going back to the shadows and in front of the shadows. They're doing all the things with shadows. And they're just taking them out one by one, picking them off, man.
It was no big deal. You think with when you're fighting 45 people with guns, you would hear one gun go off? Well, there was not a bullet fired.
Well, how in every fight, when there's a gang against one guy, they're nice enough to go one at a time at their hero.
Yeah.
These guys are even more nice because they had machine guns on both Kato and Mr. Keys, and Mr. Keys kicks the guns away, and they go, "All right, you got us. We'll fight you hand to hand." They could have just bent down and picked their guns up and shot him, but they're like, "Hey, code of honor, man."
Yeah, I mean, when you're busy like beating one guy's ass, the other guy could have like picked up the gun, but no one has the initiative. They're all like, I am honor bound to watch this guy destroy my coworker.
And they're literally murdering these guys. Like, Mr. Keys breaks a guy's neck.
He breaks several necks.
And this is where he does the sweet Jean-Claude kicks, where he's got the leg in the air and he just bends his knee and kicks people in the face.
You were saying you were really into those kicks. I'm into all of Mr. Key's kicks. I thought Mr. Key was fucking amazing.
I liked him. Jagger was my favorite, but I liked him.
Jag was great, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially the fact that his name's Jag, which is my favorite TV show, Jag. So there's a lot coming back here.
And I got the moves like Jagger, so I like it too.
Jesus Christ.
Which
Stop
takes us back to
stop
our
with the
halftime
Super
show.
Bowl. Stop it.
He took his shirt off, Griff. That's fucking. They ruined Janet Jackson's career over that.
Hey, Murray, did you hear about how Bill Belichick credited the defensive scheme to the Lions? It's like we won the Super Bowl. That wasn't even hydrophil. That was just football, Griff.
That was pigskin, Griff.
Pigskin, Griff. Let me tell you about football.
DC safe. They got it on check. They got the fucking briefcase. Whew, man.
We only have one other threat to worry about.
And it's L.A. Who cares? I hear there's a podcast on L.A. that who cares? They get taken out.
I hear that Arnold Schwarzenegger's out there, so he'll take care of it.
Governor.
He'll governate all that shit.
But apparently he was too busy pumping iron because we need our buddy Jimmy to take care of this one. So they're at a dam. It's him and CeeLo. And I love how Jagger did it all on his own, but everyone else had to have assistance. But I won't point that out, even though I just did. So
good try.
So we get another very dark scene. There's a lot of running around. There's a lot of cat and mouse. There's a lot of things I can't really describe because I don't know really what was going on.
Dude, it's hard to follow.
But our buddy CeeLo gets thrown off a ledge, dies. We see Jimmy shed one tear, and then he goes berserk and just starts killing every motherfucker, throwing people off dams.
Yeah. I mean, really, the highlight of all of this scene, besides like him throwing people, because they're at a dam apparently, is the crazy Foley effect of people running. Because you just hear people running, just. It was that for like 4 minutes. No,
that's all we need to say. I know this is a very boring scene.
Yeah, I know.
And
this is finally where we get our cut to find out that Monroe Feather is truly just a straight up fucking Nazi.
Yeah, they got their pep rally, their MAGA hats are all out. They're raising a flag that has like the SS, the Nazi SS is on it. Oof. They're giving a speech like all the white people of California. Everyone's going, build the wall, build the wall. And they're like, wait, we're just poisoning people. What are you talking about? There you go. That's the next plan.
That's the next plan.
So, yeah, because you don't drink Mexican water. We know that, Griff. You learned that.
Let's take a minute here because we're both mimosa burping. And so let's have just a quick moment. Okay. We got it out of our systems.
I'm fine.
We've had so many mimosa burps.
Well, yeah, they're great. So... Right, so they're having their pep rally, and they're like, we did it! All the black people are dead! We're going to have a new age in America! Make America great again! And do they have, like, I think Gwen's there. She's disgusted by it all, as a normal person would be.
Who's Gwen?
Oh, I mean Wendy. I don't know if I said Wendy.
I was like, is Gwen the wife with the weird hair?
Yes, that's what I meant.
So Wendy, of course, is just completely disgusted. She's pretty happy because not happy, but just relieved that, like, because, look, I guess when you take it from a viewer's perspective, it's like they haven't raped her yet. And
that's true for the movies we watch. That's rare.
I'm sorry, but yeah, for the movies we watch, it's always like, we can't truly fuck this guy unless we rape the woman he loves. So they never do that with her.
No.
She gets one
Even
back.
Pam Grier got raped last week when I think about it. Yeah. It is. Yeah, you're on something.
And you notice that she didn't get, like, raped naturally. She had to be drugged.
Look, she would kick. There's no way you can rape a Pam Grier who's not drugged. She'd beat your ass.
Exactly. So she had to be pumped full of heroin. I heard it was 4 times the normal amount of heroin a first-time user would have. And at that point, they finally could handle her.
Okay. We got sidetracked. We'll talk about Foxy Brown
I know, this is horrible. Oh, boy.
Great cutaway, Griff. Because we cut back. We're at an airport. I don't know where. I'm assuming L.A. because they're in California when this landing happens. We got our man, Mr. Keys and Jag. They're chilling. Fucking Fred Williamson got that trademark cigar in his mouth.
Ooh, yeah.
And we see a plane land. And then we see our man Jimmy walk out. And we see, this is like a cargo plane.
Ooh, yeah.
And we see, the last time we saw this van was in our overrated episode, Captain America. Because it's
fuck you!
It's a Captain America van.
It's a wonderful episode. And by the way, yeah, you're right. I called this the 18 van, but no. Once you told me, no, dude, that's Captain America.
It's the Reb Brown Captain America.
And sure enough, I watched it again today. He opens those doors, and there's that little mechanism.
Shag carpeting all in it.
45 minutes to slide out the shag carpeting, all of that. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong.
And instead of a shitty plastic shield and a motorcycle, it's just full of guns.
Just full of AKs.
And like, let's do this. And they're like, fuck yeah, let's do this. So then I actually think they took this scene, because remember in the beginning of Captain America, there's tons of boring scenes of a van driving along a road. I think they used a couple of those scenes for this movie.
It's possible. So now we're going to go to see Monroe just celebrating with his troops some more.
And you can just see how awful the world would be if we didn't have black people, because they're playing some shitty-ass polka music. It's like super white.
Dude.
And very uptight. And so, yeah, and like they're just gloating. They got Wendy there just a gloat, and she's just disgusted because it's just they're playing fucking some Mumford and Sons. It's like it's really bad.
Dude, that banjo, put it away.
And so while that's going on, our buddies, the Magnificent Three, show up, and of course, fucking our ninjas, Jim Kelly, and they got electrical fence. So he somehow figured. I don't even. He figured a way to shut off this electrical fence.
Dude, it doesn't matter. All that matters is they get in.
Well, what matters is first thing he does is takes his shirt off.
Yeah, well, naturally.
So Keys is topless, and because he saw it worked with Countess, Princess, and Empress, he's like, it's got to work out for me.
Dude, he walks into that room full of 3 guards in the security like little chambers, pulling levers and everything, making sure the security's good. So he gets caught. And so he's just like, Did
he get caught, or did he want to get caught?
I think he wanted to be caught. I think he thought as soon as he popped that top and just pecked those pecs right at them, they would just be like, what?
It worked for Countess, Empress, and Princess.
I know.
So, yeah.
It didn't work here.
Yeah, it did not work.
So they pull the security lever that triggers every security ever known to secure any security.
All these sirens, everything.
Everything's going off. We've got
fireworks. It's crazy.
The nukes are going to every country.
It's like the end of The Soldier. There's like a nuke coming out of a silo.
Everything is going off now. They're at full 10.
So the plan is shoot everything that moves. That's basically. So our buddy Mr. Keys murders everybody in that room, snaps their necks.
They have no chance.
And so now it's just a melee of just 3 strong black men murdering every white person in sight. And they do a good job of it. And they're doing all the fucking like ninja moves. They're doing like our man Jagger's doing he's doing the moves like Jagger. He's doing the funky chicken dance. He's doing like a frontward roll, backward roll, backflip. Doing the centipede. He's just doing some crazy shit.
Singing songs along the way.
He's doing the wave. He's doing the robot.
I see a red door and I want to paint it black.
Are you doing an impression of every like bad like trailer for a movie? Because they love to use that.
Man, if we were
we need to. Yes, I agree. We need to put a moratorium. I think that's the word on Paint It Black for any movie.
Absolutely, it's right.
Or Sympathy for the Devil.
It's right up there with tough guys thinking they need to put the Punisher bumper sticker on their car.
Well, that tells you you're tough.
Oh, does it? That in the NPR sticker? NPR.
I was going to say that's really weird. You've been
NRA.
in Ann Arbor too much. So
I put the NRP sticker on my car to let people know I'm tough.
So there's not much to talk. It's just they're just shooting people. I mean, it's basically what it is.
There's like I love this part because there's like enemies coming through the window, but at one point Jimmy jumps through a window and like Jack knows not to shoot him. Like it's insanity.
Well, they're the only black people in this whole fucking compound, so it's not that hard.
Oh. Wow, I'm an idiot. Yeah, that'd probably be pretty easy to notice.
Yeah. But they're having a great old time while they're murdering. They're throwing tables over, hiding behind them, doing all that shit you did when you were 5 years old and you were playing like guns and shit.
Yeah.
And this is a scene I love. So Feather, he grabs a Wendy. It's Wendy, right?
Wendy.
He grabs Wendy.
Coffee or Foxy?
So he grabs Wendy because he's got to use her as like a shield or whatever, and they're taking off. And they go. I love when they go through the lab of the doctor. It's like a fucking kitchen. It's like this tiny ass fucking room, like a sink.
Dude, you already mentioned Captain America. It's right out of Captain America. It's the same fucking lab.
Do you think this guy was making the flag serum while he was doing the whatever that kills black people stuff?
Yeah, they never really gave a name to that, but yeah, it's definitely that same lab.
Yeah. So they're hot pursuit, Jag and Jimmy, and they. I don't know how it happens, but the doctor just spontaneously combusts. He's immediately on fire.
Dude, there's not a line to help us out here. There's nothing. He just combusts.
Yeah, it happens, dude.
Like, if anyone wants to explain to us how this happens, feel free. We love to learn.
So they're in hot pursuit. Meanwhile, fucking Mr. Keys is keeping everything down on lock. He's just ninjaing it up. He's doing shit that the fucking dude a couple wishes he could do. He gets the broomstick. He snaps it. He starts fucking kicking guys in the balls with the broomstick.
You're not kidding. Someone comes out with a pool cue. We've not seen a pool table in the whole movie, but naturally, pool cue.
Right.
But, I mean...
So while they're in pursuit, he just kills everybody in the compound.
So they get Wendy. Hey, take Wendy back to the van. Okay.
This was like, by the way, this was the worst ending. This was like the most, like, I actually literally was like, wait, did that person die? I didn't even know because it was so like anticlimactic.
It is like they're recording our podcast where they just get so hyped on some scenes and they're just so tired for other scenes that they just skip over them, like the ending here. Because there's just jeeps flying off the edge, and then they're like, okay, let's go join everybody back at the van.
So we're assuming that was Monroe Feather in that jeep. It just, a jeep goes off a cliff and blows up.
Nothing about that jeep. Just, it blew up, and now we're good. We'll go back to the van.
So we got everybody. They get in the van, and then fucking Jagger's like, I got some dynamite here. I'm going to start throwing it at cars.
So they drive around throwing dynamite at Nazi cars. And they're blowing, like, all the Nazi cars are like 50s cars, so I don't know what's going on there. But they blow everything up. They blow up the town hall. They blow up everything around.
Right. And then they just end it. They meet up at the park. They say their goodbyes, and then they walk away. They walk away the hard way.
They walk away the hard way, guy.
And Jimmy's got his lady. You're gonna get married. They're gonna have some family. They're gonna have some kids. Jackson go fuck somebody at a fuck pad. Mr. Keys is going to teach somebody some kung fu. All is good in the world.
Him and Kato. We don't know what happened to Kato. I'm pretty sure he's good, though.
Yeah, he probably just went back to DC. He's like, I got to teach Lemmy some shit.
I'm going to go hang out with Shane for a little bit, show him my new moves, tell him about these kills I got. What do you think Shane's doing at this point?
I don't know, janitorial work. I don't know. I think he probably killed himself years ago.
I said Kane. We know that was Shane because Kane would have been above Keys.
Actually, in all honesty, Kane is like an action hero in Japan.
I get that, but I'm asking you.
Are you talking about the character? What are you talking about? I don't understand.
We know that was Shane in the 70s when they filmed this movie. What was Kane doing?
First of all,
don't say this.
We met Shane in the 80s as a child,
Shut
and
up.
now we...
Shut up.
So did he go back in time?
Shut up.
He's Benjamin Button in it? Is that
okay, all right. Let's go on. Guys, wow. Fucking awesome episode. So we should talk about the next episode.
Holy
son of a bitch.
Shit, Griff.
Don't point out my Shane Kane logic ever again.
I don't want to even talk about it because I got something really awesome to talk about, Griff. I'm so excited about this fucking next movie. If you don't know who this man is, you're going to learn.
You taught me a long time ago about this man, and it has a huge impact on me.
I think it's everyone's duty, if they know who this guy is, to pass it on, to pay it forward, if you will.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to have our buddy Mike, our second to least popular guest.
Congrats,
because
Mike.
Fucking coffee. Foxy Brown blew the fuck up this weekend, and thank you guys for that. And yes, Mike's going to be back because he loves this guy too. I'm going to tell a little story. I actually got to see this guy perform live. You do not want to miss the story I'm going to tell. But of course, we're talking about Mr. Rudolph Raymond Moore, a.k.a. Rudy Ray Moore, Dolomite.
Oh, yeah.
Now, look, everybody's done fucking Dolomite. All right, so that's why we're not going to do Dolomite because everybody's done this. It's been done to death. We're going to do a deep cut, but a fucking great movie all on its own. Of course, we're talking about Avenging Disco Godfather.
Can't wait.
Rudy Ray Moore's tribute to the disco era. You're going to see him dance. You're going to see him kung fu. You're going to see everything, and I can't wait. And just to give you a little taste, before we leave, we're going to give you a Griff remix, a Safe for Work version of a famous, because Rudy Ray Moore was a comedian similar to Red Fox. He was super dirty, but we're giving you the Safe for Work version.
Guys, we are thinking about you always.
Because we know every fucking Thursday, people at their lunch hour, they're like, guys, get around. We're going to listen to new Golan-Globus. And, of course, there's, like, Phyllis from, like, Human Resources who's, like, doesn't get it.
She doesn't get it.
We don't want to ruin your guys' fun by giving you that. Next week, it's total fucking triple X rated.
And I'm guilty of this. I swear on this podcast. But don't worry. Because Murray's going to sign it off. I'm gonna mumble something. And then we're going to go ahead and roll a Rudy Ray. Well, I call him Rude Ray Moore after having to filter this bit, but we're going to fill out,
That's my wrestling name, Rude Ray Moore.
Rude Ray Moore.
So, so we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy the time you're waiting to see this episode because it's going to be amazing, and keep it warm.
Yeah, and and have fun with Rude Ray Moore.
Doesn't seem as though your friend's going to show up, Shy. Maybe, I may be able to convince you that you've been waiting for me all the time and just didn't know it. By the way, who are you waiting for anyway?
I'm waiting for Dolomite.
For who?
Dolomite, mother.
Oh, boy.
You heard her. Way down in the jungle deep, the lion stepped on the signifying monkey's feet. The monkey said, mother,
oh boy,
can't you see? You're standing on my feet. The monkey lived in the jungle in an old oak tree.
Oh boy, and
a lion every day in the week. Every day before the sun go down, that lion would kick his all through the jungle top. But the monkey got wise and started using his wit. Started saying, I'm gonna put a stop to this old kicking.
Oh boy.
So he ran up on the lion the very next day. He said, oh, Mr. Lion, there's a big bad mother coming your way. And he's somebody that you don't know. He just broke a loose from Ringling Brothers show. Said he talked about your people in a hell of a way. He talked about your people till my hair turned gray. So Mr. Lion, you know that ain't right. So whenever you run up on the elephant, I want you to be ready to fight. The lion jumped up in a hell of a rage, like a young man smoking some gauge. He ran up on the elephant talking to the swine. He said, all right, you big bad mother, it's gonna be your mine. The lion jumped up and made a fancy pass, but the elephant sidestepped him and knocked him dead on his He fucked up his jaw, messed up his face, broke all four legs and knocked him out of place. They fought all night and all the next day. Somehow the little lion managed to get away. He drug his back to the jungle more dead and alive, just to run into that little monkey and some more of his signifying jive. The little monkey said, look here, partner, you don't look so swell. Look like to me you caught a whole lot of hell. Said your eyes is red and your is blue. Said I knew in the first place it wasn't you. That I told my wife before you left, I shoulda whooped your my mother self. Shut up. Don't you roar, cause I'll jump out of this tree and whoop your dog some more. And don't look up here with your sucker paw case, cause I'll piss through the bark of this tree in your mother face. The little monkey got happy and started jumping up in his down. His feet missed the limb and his hit the ground. Like a ball of lightning and a streak of white heat, that lion was on his head with all 4 feet. Dust rose and tears came in the little monkey's eyes. Nothing he could see and nothing he could hear. But he knew that was the end of his bullshit.
Oh boy.
And signifying career. And signifying career.